recording. Let's get started. Welcome to Drift Talk. This is my podcast every Thursday night, so let's start. So TougeSW, for short, it's pronounced as Touge Southwest. I just have TougeSW.com. So this is Series 5 of Episode 3. So we're always live Thursday night after 10 p.m. Twitch TV, Wandering Raven, on all the cool stuff, all the episodes. I want to throw in a little extra on this one. And let's go to TougeSW.com. And I've updated it. Look at this. So I put all the good stuff here. I'm going to talk more about this here shortly. But all the podcasts are here now. So if you want to see any episodes, still going through and trying to fix all the links, but they're all going to look nice and straight lined. So we're on episode 3 now, so you'll see that later on tonight. But other than that, I got the galleries here from the JDM stuff from last year. I plan on going again this year, so it's going to be cool. Discord for the community, contact if you need to contact me in any way, especially business stuff, or if you want to collab and whatnot, it's always good. Want to learn more about Touge Southwest or about me, everything all together. It's all my abouts. My current project list here. This does need to get updated again because I'll definitely talk over it momentarily. But yeah, this is the new design I went with, and having fun with it. It's cool. It works. It really does. And yeah, so that's a new design. Pretty cool, straightforward. I like it. So, what is Touge Southwest? It's a podcast I started. Well, Touge Southwest is more of a collective idea of mine. It takes place sometime a little after I came back to Vegas in 2011. It was inspired by Touge Northwest, which was another community that was up in Oregon that I had my chance to be a part of. So shortly after that, I came back to Vegas and tried to start it here in Vegas, and yeah, it was totally a different time back then. So I decided to just focus more on whatever events I can cover and whatnot. I didn't really have a full plan on going forward. So, and then give me 1 second. I still can't freaking talk. I'm having a massive allergy attack still. Alright. Oh. But Touge Southwest turned into a podcast a couple years ago, mainly because I love drifting. I want to be a part of it again. I was doing it since 2010 when I was up in Oregon. And ever since I came back, I've been having so much fun with it. It's been like one thing about my life that I love so much. And that's the car in the background that I was using. 1987 200SX with the VG30 at the time. It no longer has that motor, but yeah. But my mom passed away in 2019, 2 days after my last major drift event. That was basically the last time my mom got to see me happy as well. And it was really hard. So I started the podcast to help hold myself accountable to the car, help motivate myself to rebuild it again, motivate myself to get back on the track again, motivate myself to basically get out there again, become social, And we'll try to be social, as I'm still like a weird antisocial person, but it is what it is. And so here we are today. Basically it's like a root growing into a better tree after being technically hacked down. I don't know. Kind of a weird analogy on that. I am weird. But alright, so, and then there's the next thing I need to go over is the disclaimer. Now, I'm gonna have this on Toge Southwest here in a little bit, but the bad disclaimer is when I'm at work, I focus on work. I only focus on work. I work with a lot of great people, a lot of great minds. So, with that being said, once I leave work, I don't bring work with me. So, like, I don't bring home to work. So, I don't represent that company in any way after I leave work. So when I'm doing TougeSW, I have no ties with my current job. I want to keep it that way. I love that job, even though it doesn't pay me as much as I wished it would. It's still, I love the job. I love the people around me. I love the environment. I have the greatest team I can ever possibly wish for. Some brilliant minds. And that being said, the reason why I'm putting this up is something came into mind about something nothing to do with me, but it freaked me out because my last job, somebody was taking stuff from my websites and stuff like that and trying to say it's about them when it wasn't. So I don't want people to take that twisted and take that thinking I said something in one of my podcasts and they thought it was about work when it's nothing about work. I am looking for a new job to find better money, but who is it? You know? I mean, my ultimate goal is become CISO again for an actual company because I was CISO for the Chief Information Security Officer for an ISP here in Vegas. And I got treated so poorly. That's why I wrote books. I wrote 2 books. That's Vegas Hackware. So I just want to put that out there. I'll have a better legal disclaimer that, you know, if you know me personally, you know that I don't talk personal stuff at work. And when I'm at work, I don't talk about work outside. So, you know, it's called NDA. I signed that when I worked there, and I like to fulfill that. Keep it there. But I don't represent the company. I represent myself when I walk off that property. That's it. I leave that behind and move forward. So I see coworkers out there. I don't interact with them unless they interact with me, trying to be social outside of work and not involving work. That way there's no incidents or any problems. I like to prevent stuff than saying that something did happen. I like to be I like to prevent things. I don't like problems. I don't like issues. I don't like surprises. So I want to keep it that way. So just in case any coworkers or bosses decide to stumble on this, I don't want things to get taken out of context. And I want to keep it that way. Alright, so now moving on. About your host, I'm Wandering Raven. Hello. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm born and raised here in Las Vegas. Did live in Oregon for a year. And that's where I learned a lot about Toge Northwest, and that really changed my life. But I did work for an ISP for, like I said, over a decade. We did become their CISO, even though it wasn't really on paper. But, so I did write 2 books. Go to VegasHackware.com. And what I mean by Vegas Hackware is Vegas hackware. This website right here. I wrote 2 books, bookshelf. You get to learn more about me. The second one is my manifesto. You get to learn how I conquered the internet. How I'm basically better than Kevin Mitnick in a ways. You know, because I'm here and I never got busted, so I'm always going to throw that out there. So, let's move on. Was there any previous events last weekend? There was LS Fest. I didn't go. But I did see a lot of recordings and whatnot. It looked pretty cool. The only thing that sucks is watching a few idiots do some stupid things out in the roads in Vegas. Such as takeovers. I mean, gotta be the stupidest thing in the world to do a takeover in Vegas. There's a huge flock cameras on every corner of this freaking city. So, let me see. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was all over on Las Vegas Now. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. This is what I'm talking about. Damn, I'm getting some followers tonight. Night News Now. Let's see. See the post. This is what I'm talking about. This is Metro. Looking, calling in the car. They already had cameras there. Every street corner has a flock camera. What that means is like flock safety camera map. Deflock. Flock safety. So, you want to learn what flock is, I'll show you here in a second. Look at that heat map in Vegas. Let's say, let's go over one of these areas. This thing does not have every camera. But let's say I want to view the camera. Technically, operator, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, that's Metro. Surveillance, flock safety, manufacturer. It's a fixed camera type. It's right there. It's always pointing there. But these deflock cameras they don't list every single one of them because they really do have them all changed up. And let's see here. How I really know that is when I'm driving down this way, there's 5 cameras all the way through here. Yeah, they just don't have them all listed. This is basically what they think they're viewing. But there's cameras everywhere in Vegas. They're just not all recorded. Because not everyone's gonna go like outside of big popular areas. Like, this is technically how it really is. One way, one the other way, one way, one the other way. And when you're at a corner, there's technically one in every corner. So, what that means is, all these people here recording, standing, bystanders like this, every face taken. And there's a law in Vegas for stuff like this, and viewing and watching this stuff while being there. So there is a law. I think it's a felony. A felony crime. These takeovers are a felony crime. So a lot of these people, I'm pretty sure the car is impounded to be crushed. And those like this person right there probably got picked up at his home, arrested. Probably a few other people all around. I mean, they made multiple arrests. So one car, multiple arrests. That means they used that flock safety to capture all these people. And so stupid. I mean, they're trying to get these flock cameras removed from all cities, but stuff like that keeps happening. That's probably going to be really hard to get it out of Vegas. So, I mean, I'm not against it or anything, or because I did miss out on the whole street racing scene before it got fully cracked down on. But it is what it is. I don't have any events coming up that's planned. Nothing this week. It's going to be mostly focus on work and car and hiccups. So let's just jump in what I've been working on. Alright, so I had the turbo tested. It failed within like 5 minutes. After 1 minute. Yeah, technically about 1 minute. Everything was tested good. As soon as I put it on, I started up. Started right up. It was cool. And then smoke. A minute later, smoke. It just blew it. So I was like, I can't keep doing this. So I decided to look back again, seeing what other solutions I can do. Apparently I can use an AEM trigger wheel. And if I do that, then I can actually go make a squirt with my car. So I'm building a patch cable. Hopefully by the end of this weekend, I'll have it built. So I can actually plug it into from the harness to the ECU. I have it all ready. So right now I'm trying to figure out the trigger wheel solution. Basically, I have to take apart the cast, the crank angle sensor. I have to take the little wheel that's inside and replace it. And see if I can pull that up real quick. Yeah, alright, so going with something like this. Because there's the AM style trigger wheel. I want to see, because technically there's two styles. There's the O and one's a D. I think this is the one I need. So I can use this with what I need. And so I can always go to NZ wiring for cam trigger kit, but I think that's like $300. I think. Something I didn't want to do back then, but if I have to do it, I'll have to do it. Yeah, it's like $400 in New Zealand. Let's see. SE18. What is it? This is what I'm talking about. Come on. This is what I'm talking about right here. So yeah, basically this would be the kit that I would basically have to purchase, and hopefully it works. Well, no, it should work, but regardless, it's basically VR sensor, 24-1 trigger wheel, and basically it just replaces the whole thing. And then I have this, which is easy to come by, which does make it easier for me to actually replace. So that might actually still be a thing. technically, I can probably get the AM trigger wheel anyways, but no. I mean, that's what it looks like. Has a thing in the back to help move it. And then that's the sensor. Technically, that's how it'll look when it's mounted. No more that weird big bubble thing, and that would sit in the front. And not compatible with Haltech, of course. Nistune, that means the Nistune is going to go away. That's the whole point of doing this. So, max ECU, but I'm going to go with basically Nistune. Nistune should support it. Am I right? Yeah, I should. That's max ECU information, so I'm not going for it like that. So we're going Megasquirt. And Megasquirt should have that, so the Megasquirt 2.0 version 3. And so that's what I'm going to go with. Now my 1986 Project Serenity, I still have the front swap to do, R200 rear end install, and the iBox rings. Still deciding if I want to get that rear end welded or not. So that might be a thing, but maybe not though. Might just keep it open so I can just enjoy it driving like places like Williams and back with no problems. I think it's going to be a lot smoother ride heading back out to Williams this year, so that'll be cool. And of course, like my 1980 280ZX that I wanted to replace my 350Z. It might become a sooner than later kind of situation, mainly because people are really making it impossible to have a freaking 350 anymore because people are giving it bad names, you know? A lot of bad apples out there. I like to ruin it for others. But it happens, though. I mean, it is what it is. So, alright, so the next thing is I was trying to do some S12 wiki stuff, but I keep getting problems with too many requests. So they must be having bots or some DDoS or something happening. So I've been trying to get something. The only problem with the Club S12, they do have a lot of bad information that's not fully filled out. A lot of it can be fixed with an FSM kind of thing situation. There's some things I can contribute myself, like the proper wiring to an aftermarket stereo. Because a lot of times if you pick up an S12, you're going to be missing the whole thing inside, and one of the wires needs to be turned on to actually so you can see all your lights inside. If it doesn't have power, then you're not going to have power to your dash. That's the one thing there. And let's jump into my last thing of the slide or of this podcast. Is I really want to move forward with my bucket list. So I gave it a name, The Girl in Pink. Why did I call it that? I was inspired by The Dude in Blue. I was inspired by the Drifter movie. Dude, what is going on with my stomach today? Was inspired by the Drifter movie. Of course, I was inspired by Keep Drifting Fun, that whole movie's documentary, Slide America, and so many others that I've seen. I want to keep it always grassroots, so I've been trying to fulfill a giant list, at least 10, that I want to hit before I turn 50. So this is like must drift event. That's what I'm building. I'm watching all these cool people making videos and stuff, and they're making their own documentary movies, And it's like, if everybody can make their own like that, well, actually, I was doing this before they started announcing this stuff. But yes, this is my dream. This is what I wanted to do. I was saying this for about over a year, and I wanted to do this. The only way this is going to make it happen is I need the car running. As a matter of fact, I can always open up on my own GoFundMe to get it to where I can make sure that I can pick up and hire a mechanic that actually can help me get going forward if needed. Because I can't afford a mechanic. I'm barely able to afford what I got now. I mean, I would try another turbo, but I can't afford another turbo. And that's why I can't really just jump on the NZ wiring thing, because I can't afford it. So I have to jump onto the AEM wheel, and hopefully I can get that working. And I should be able to get it working. I just need to figure out how to disassemble the whole unit. So that is what I'm working on with that. But yeah, the whole plan is to take my S12. We're gonna go hit places like I definitely want to go see Club Loose. I definitely want to at least hit one of the DK Lays leagues out there in the East Coast. I would definitely want to hit like Arizona, Texas one. I definitely want to hit up Utah. I know there's one up in like Minnesota. I definitely want to see that too. Indiana, I think Indiana. I know I definitely want to go back to California, do one that's over there in the NorCal and SoCal. E1 in SoCal is pretty much the one in Apple Valley that I definitely want to hit. And I definitely want to hit I think hopefully Evergreen still has one going on. I know Drift Evolution does. I always wanted to drift there, especially when I went there to spectate when I was up in Oregon. I always wanted to drift it. That course was actually really cool. Even though it was a big parking lot, it was still a freaking big, cool parking lot. So, yeah, there's just so much I want to do. Colorado, I definitely want to hit up there. So, places I've never been to, I want to be there and I want to see it for the first time. Maybe it's my first and last time. I don't know. That's why I wanted to do it before I turned 50. It's like my bucket list. I'm 46 now. I got maybe 3.5 years before I can, but that should be plenty of time to hit. I can get this car running, I can get it moving, I can start planning for these events. Hopefully, and drive there, of course. Sometimes I'll probably would have to see about getting it trailered out there, but yeah, it is what it is. This is something I'm just putting together myself, and it would be, I don't know how I'm gonna really afford it. It's a dream. It's a pipe dream. I don't want it to be a pipe dream, but it is a pipe dream. So I'm doing what I can. What would really help is maybe alternative ways of figuring this out. Supporting my book would actually help as well. And I know that would help. I could try a GoFundMe if people listen and want to help me with that. I'm more than happy to start one up and make sure that we can get somebody who knows how to do the motor and how to keep the motor alive, or at least get the motor running to a point to where I don't have to deal with it anymore. To a point I can just take it to events and have fun. And that's what I've been trying to do with the motor. That's why I downgraded the motor from the turbo to a smaller turbo to keep the NIS tune going. Now I got to get rid of the NIS tune and go MIG squirt. But if I do that, I'm gonna have to really aim for high power. Apparently, the motor needs it. So, yep, that's my biggest plan. This is my biggest dream. I've had a shitty life. This is what I want to be done. At least something I can accomplish. That's awesome. I can also turn into my own little movie. This is my idea way before Drifter was freaking announced. This was my idea way before anybody else started doing their documentaries and whatnot. This is a dream. I've had a really shitty life, and I want to put it together. I want to be something that, if my mom can actually watch it, she would probably cry, Kind of makes me want to cry now, thinking about it, but yeah, technically this is it. This is my dream. So that is pretty much it. I shall be back next Thursday night with another talk. We'll do something cool. I know hopefully I'll get some better updates on the S12. We'll get hopefully I'll get some more entries on the S12 database going, and hopefully I'll have another event to go to, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Oops, and good night.